Okay, good morning, everybody. I have the pleasure of this morning introducing Daniella Weiss, and I want to thank Linda and Gila for contacting Daniella. Daniella was born in Tel Aviv and grew up in Bnei Brak, and there she was raised in the ideology of the Lehi underground movement. This served her as the background to all her communal undertakings. Together with her husband and young family, they left the comforts of Greater Tel Aviv and moved to an abandoned army base in Kadum, present-day Kadumim, in the Sumerian hills. In 1973, after the Yom Kippur War, she met the late Rabbi Moshe Levinger, who became her mentor. Between 1984 and 1988, Daniella served as the Secretary General of the Gush Emunim movement. For 9 years, Daniella was the mayor of Kedumim. During this period, Kedumim expanded to include 13 separate neighborhoods and an industrial zone. Since 2007, Daniella, together with others, including the late Rabbi Levinger, established Nachala settlement movement. Nachala's goals are the purchase of land from Arabs in Judea and Samaria, establishment of new settlements and outposts, creation of core groups of young people and families whose aim is to create new settlements, education of the youth about Judea and Samaria, and to be an ex-parliamentary lobby group for the land in Judea and Samaria. Wow. Daniella, we're so privileged to have you with us. We're grateful for your coming on and sharing with us. And I'll turn it over to you now. Thank you. And I just want to respectfully ask everybody to please mute yourselves. Okay, thank you.
I'm not sure if Daniella's here yet. She's got an internet issue. So she'll join us as soon as she can.
Perhaps so Gila, do you want to give us something on Zos Hanukkah while we're waiting?
I don't
want to
feel
share
qualified.
something?
I don't feel qualified except to tell you that I had a beautiful morning at the Kotel filled with lots and lots of people today because of Zot Hanukkah. And it was like a big schut to be able to go there and to feel the importance of this day. But I don't feel qualified to do that.
I actually see, I of course you're qualified, Baruch Hashem, but I see she joined. Joined.
Daniella?
Yeah, she joined.
Great. Shalom to everybody.
There she is. Baruch Hashem. Thank you.
I had a tiny internet problem, but we overcame. Thank God. Shalom to everybody. When shall I start, Gila? I'm waiting for orders.
Go ahead, Daniella.
We introduced you. I'm so sorry. We're so glad you're here. And please begin. We're so delighted that you could be with us. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I heard from Gila about this important group, and it was Gila's idea that I join you. I'll see if only once or for other meetings too. It depends also on you. And I chose a subject which I thought could be of interest to the women who participate in these meetings. I understand that due to the not just to the corona problems, but the fact that Gila is here, some other are here in Israel, and you're, if I understand well, all of you, or most of you from South Africa. Is that right, Gila? Is it right?
No, we're from all over the place. All over the United States, Canada, and Israel, and South Africa. We even have Spain, I think. We have some Europe, we have England, but we're all over the place.
Okay, this is what we call international. Fine. And now Israel is joining. And so the subject that we chose is connected to, as far as I understand, to the atmosphere and the aim of these meetings. I would like to speak about women in Israel today who derive their devotion to the land of Israel from the prominent figures women figures of the Bible. I'll tell you, I often am being asked by women how I react to certain what they call discrimination or differences between men and women. So I'm telling you here, and I understand that this is a closed women's circle. So I'm telling you that I never feel inferiority feelings. And I feel, if I may say, again, in this circle, which I do not fully understand, but I hope I understand enough to dare say, or actually make such a confession here, that I feel even some superiority feelings, and I will explain. First of all, you know, Chochmat Nashim Banta Beita, that it is the discretion of women, the deep understanding of things that enables build a stable, good home. And I also always say to my friends and to women whom I meet, and here I say to you, that actually when we look into the depth of the biblical stories, we see that women actually decided the nature of the Jewish nation. I think of Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, the courage that they had to say, this son will continue the chain of the Jewish nation. This one cannot. And they had to confront their husbands, Abraham, Yitzhak, and Yaakov, and they had to use certain tactics and tricks in order to bring into being their deep understanding of how to build the Jewish nation. And I'm so proud that as a woman, I can come to tests where my ability as a woman actually affects our history, the history of the Jewish nation even today. And I will soon give you some examples from our life today in the area, in the regions of Judea and Samaria. But before I come to the present days, I would like to mention a few other elements that show I would say the historical and the very basic role that Jewish women had in the time of the Bible, and then through the Jewish history. So Jewish history. I would like to, well, we know it, but I repeat the idea in connection with our topic today, devotion, dedication of women to Yahadut, to Yiddishkeit, to Am Yisrael. When we suffered in Egypt from slavery and from oppression, then men lost the hope that there is any point in bringing new life, giving life to new Jewish children, because it was so helpless, so desperate, it was so useless. Why make the effort? Who wants it? It's the end of the world. We are slaves, and we might be slaves forever. So who needs it? Who had the guts? Who had the courage? Who saw the vision? The women who told their husband, no, we want to see the Jewish nation continue. We have the ability even under oppression, to continue the Jewish people. I want to give another very important example from the Bible. In the time of Chet HaEgel, maybe Gila, you will help me with the translation, Chet HaEgel.
The sin of the golden calf. I think most ladies are going to be familiar with these terms.
Chet HaEgel. So women did not participate. When I think of every individual home, or at that time in the Bible it was tents, where there were discussions. Yes, but we want to do it. It's important, and Moses is not coming, and we'll do it. And there were discussions. We tell it in one sentence, but it wasn't one sentence. There were endless discussions about, shall we obey Moses? Do we believe in God? Or maybe there's a problem here. No, they had the patience. They had the faith. They had the emunah. And once a woman is devoted, she is devoted. And no side effects affect her deep faith. I want, by your permission, to come closer to today and to Eretz Yisrael. Actually, God's idea, and who really fully dare understand God's thoughts. לא מחשבותיי, מחשבותיכם, אמר הנביא. But the daughters of Tzlofchad dared say, we have a word to say to God. You didn't want to give us a lot, part in Eretz Yisrael, only to men. But we have shown devotion, we have shown dedication. We will keep the land all through generations, no matter how hard it would be. Give us a part in the land, a physical part. We want the soil. We want to be part of it. We will be dedicated to the promised land forever. And God listened to the 5 daughters of Tzlofchad. I mean, it gives me personally so much strength all my life when I encounter difficulties. I say, God, listen to these 5 women who they had the debate, they discussed things with God. And then I want to mention Deborah Neviah. Here I come to a point where I, as a mayor of a growing town in Israel, Dumim, the center of Samaria, where I speak to you now, I'm in Dumim, in the very heart of Eretz Yisrael. We are very close to Shechem. ויעבור אברהם בארץ עד מקום שכם, עד אלון מורה. I was serving for many years as mayor of the town, and I still encountered in my other positions, dilemmas that need a lot of strength in order to come to a decision in a very crucial crossroads. There was a point where I got an order from the army not to allow anybody leave the town of Dumim and not to allow anybody to enter. I mean, not to allow, I'm not speaking about Arabs, I'm speaking about Jews, us. We couldn't, it was Rosh Hashanah, and after Rosh Hashanah, we got an order not to leave Dumim and not to let other people, or even family members who wanted to return home after Rosh Hashanah, not to return, because they started what they called the Intifada, the overall war that the Arabs here in Samaria imposed on the Jewish communities in Judea and Samaria. So I said to myself, no, no, no. What I had in mind at that moment was where the words of Devorah Neviah. She said there was time, at her time, when people couldn't go in the highways because there were attacks, there were robberies there, became dangerous from terrorists and from thieves. So Dvorah said, no, no, no. Kol kvoda bat melech pnima. I quote here. But what is it? I ask you here in this meeting. We are to take care of our domestic things and first and foremost of our children. But how can our children be safe if the roads where you go to friends, to families, shopping for different purposes, if the roads are not safe, home is not safe. In Hebrew, we say al em haderech. We don't say av haderech. Derech, road, is ima. Ima. We take care of our children, of our family, of our husbands, and we take care of everything inside the house and outside. It sounds paradoxical. It sounds even strange. How can we? Well, we women, we can take care of everything. But I'm now speaking about the biblical examples of devotion to the great idea of giving safety to our family. Not just at home, to be nice, to cook well, and to serve cookies. No, to listen to the sounds that come from outside. What is the sound? Why is it not safe there? So when I came to the point that I had to take care of my domestic, very personal, and my town's affairs, and the road leading from one community to the other, from one town to the other, from one city to the other, I said to the officer of the army, no, 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 no. We are not going to stay home. We are going to move freely from place to place, from Kdumim to Tel Aviv, from Tel Aviv to Ariel, from Ariel to Hebron, from Hebron to Beit Lechem. We will move freely. And then I telephoned one of my co-mayors, mayor of another city here in Shomron, and I said to him, never mind the name, of course, I said to him, you know, it's not right to obey this illegal order. This puts an end to our ability to breathe. Look at what Dvorah, the prophetess, what she said, to fight over the right to go on the highway, always to see that the highways are free and not the roundabout ways. So he said to me, and I thank God for his words, he said to me, if you are so courageous, let me see you doing it. So I spoke to my secretary, another woman, and I said, Shosh, let's get on my car. Let's open the road. There was no car on the road. And there was shooting from a nearby village. So we came to the end of this road near an Arab town. And there was already mahsumim, blocks, not enabling us to enter. I mean, not us, but the people who were on the way home. And I asked women who were standing in the line, long line in the cars. I said, get out of the cars and push the blocks the barriers, and we return home. Every city in Eretz Israel, every town is a home for Jews, and nobody will block us from going to our home. And the women left the cars and opened the road, and the officer there said to me, how dare you? There's shooting. So I said to him, your role is to stop the shooting. My role as a mayor is to see that the people in my town and the neighboring towns can go back and forth on this road. And we opened the road. The next day there was a big meeting in Jerusalem of all the mayors and the head of regional councils in Judea and Samaria. And they greeted me as if I brought them some salvation. And in a way, it was a kind of. And the inspiration and the courage that I had in order to dare confront even the army on a security issue was from the Bible, was from Dvorah, because God could choose any man to do it, but it needed the deep understanding of a woman. It's not enough to have a safe wall around. Sometimes a wall is misleading. What gives real strength is when you feel a free nation in a free land. No fences, no barriers, nothing stops you. You feel free and your children feel free. Now I want to tell you that I also had many discussions with my husband about these security issues. My husband even objected to my very long struggle against fences. And I said to him, and this is what I want to share with you. When I see children dealing with all sorts of nonsense and spending time in shopping malls and spending time in the internet or WhatsApp or telephones or just things of low value, I say to him, I prefer that my daughter, thank God now I have children and I have grandchildren and I have great-grandchildren, and I say to my husband, because these discussions continue from one generation to the other, that I said to my husband and I say to him, I prefer that my children and grandchildren, now even my great-grandchildren, I prefer that they go to what they call dangerous hills, dangerous roads, but they cling to, they go by values, by Jewish values. They love the land, they love the Torah, they love their friends, they don't deal with nonsensities. So, well, my husband, not that he fully accepts what I say, but I am so strong with my faith in the values on which I want my family to grow and to adopt, that he doesn't have the energy to continue the discussions, although he's worried from security points of view and well, security is an issue. But thank God I see that my children they get from me the understanding that things are being judged by values, by Jewish values. And I want to share with you that that when I see my children here in Eretz Israel, how they are dedicated to Torah, to Yahadut, to how they raise their families, and how they are dedicated to Eretz Israel, then I say that all my battles, all my efforts, all my dreams, all my prayers to raise a good family and a brave generation. These prayers are being answered. And I want to say that I take the inspiration and the guidance from our mothers and from the prominent figures of the Bible, the prominent figures of the Bible, who took upon their shoulders the responsibility not only for the generation in which they lived, with vision, they thought of a way which could be a guidance for future generations and actually leolam va'ed, forever. And Gila, these are the basic things that I was willing to speak about, and I am more than willing to relate to remarks if it is common in this accepted in this circle, to relate to things and to answer.
Wow, Daniella, wow, that's, wow.
Naomi?
Yeah, wow, I'm like,
Yeah.
wow, your commitment to Eretz Yisrael, Am Yisrael, and to the Rabbeinu Shalom is just unbelievable. I can't get over it's just remarkable. You know, we learn about the Imahot and the Avos, and we see that they're Mesiras Nefesh. We see specifically how the Rabbeinu Shalom chose Moshe Rabbeinu because of the level of Mesiras Nefesh that he had. And really, it's the lesson to all of us. And listening to you, wow, I didn't know that there was still people like that existed. So I have to come meet you. I can't believe it. Wow, unbelievable, Daniella. I'm just, wow.
I want to tell you, Naomi, and everybody is participating in this meeting, that God gives me a lot of koach. You know very well the term, the Musad, Hashgacha Pratit. We all believe in Hashgacha Pratit, but I feel that not only do I believe in Hashgacha Pratit, but God gives me such clear indications that when I'm dedicated to Am Yisrael and to Rat Yisrael and to my family and to Am Yisrael, that as like a father who says to his child, "You're doing well, go on, continue." I feel it day by day. I feel that God gives me mamash hashgacha pratit, private lessons. Sometimes
Because,
also,
but I think also, Daniella, because the Rabbeinu Shalom knows the way you want to go. So because of the way you want to go, the Rabbeinu Shalom helps you in that way. It's unbelievable. It's mamish unbelievable. Wow. Wow. Eifat Dara, where do you live? You live
Dumim, in the very, very center of, actually, this is the very center of Eretz Israel. It's,
wow.
if you take the Tel Aviv area and the Jordan River, I'm in the middle. I can see the Mediterranean, and when I get on the mountains just above my home, I can see up to Jericho.
Wow.
So I am, I feel that God gave me the best location.
Wow. 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 I don't know what to say. Hashem gave
There's
you
another question.
a different
Yes.
neshama. Okay, we're just going to take one question. We're just going to take one question. Just 1 second, Charlie. We're only going to take one question because I want to talk about Zos Chanukah before we get off. So go ahead, Charlene. Just one question,
Okay,
please.
Daniella, I want to tell you and the whole group, first of all, thank you, but I am a member of your community, even if I live in Monsey, because I get a wonderful package from Leva Olam every single month of all the products, pieces produce from this part of the land that is boycotted, and I am very proud every month to receive. I give a donation, but my husband and I is Israeli. I am Israeli by citizenship, and we have the flavor of this area that you live in and you set up and you struggle for every single month in our home. It's called levaolam.com. You can shop online. You can get your parcel every month.
Wow. Baruch
I have to
Hashem.
push
Thank you for
Levaolam.
sharing that with us.
You're welcome. I
Wow.
love you guys. Bye.
Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. Daniella, there was one more question that somebody asked. How many families are you?
You mean in our town?
Yeah, in the town you're in. Yeah.
We are 6,000 families.
6,000 families or 6,000?
6,000 families.
6,000 families or 6,000 people?
6,000 families. We have a big
wow.
place.
Wow.
Big.
Wow,
It's
amazing.
not as big as New York.
Right. Wow. Okay, Daniella, thank you so much. Really, it was unbelievable. I hope you'll come back.